Assalamualaikum. My name is Aina Fatimah binti Muhammad Zulkifli. I will be explaining about introduction of pressure group. A pressure group, also called interest group, is an organization which attempts to influence government policies through protests and demonstrations. Pressure groups are formed when people with similar opinions get together for similar objectives. The political area is not complete without the existence of interest or pressure groups. They are part and parcel of democracy. Even though this group does not seek to obtain power in government, their voice is vital for the development of the society. The aim of the pressure or interest group is to affect the decisions of those in power, which is the ruling government.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Fatihah binti Muhammad Nawi, and I will present about function of pressure group. So the pressure group is a group of main individual who are seeking to influence press government on a specific topic. By being elected, they do not seek power. Is it difficult to underestimate the key position and main function of pressure group? Includes pressure group are seeking to make the government more attentive to people's needs. This is because they command more respect than individuals who might be fighting for similar causes, as organization of many members of then spread nationwide. After that, stranger voice of the people. Each citizen may be weak as an individual. It may be difficult to put in his or her demand or grievances, but through association, individuals become strong. Organizing themselves in a group will ease them to channel their voice and will get more government attention. Next is pressure group advocate a chance for electoral opportunity participation for people. Without citizen participation, the desire to join a function that is political. They, moreover, allow for the democratic right for freedom of speech expression, meeting and association to just be upheld. Next is pressure group provide the government with specialist and expert knowledge about their priorities and clarify government policy to their representative and the public at large. Pressure group provide a useful link between the people and government. Therefore, this will help the administrators or legislator to secure information on fact and attitudes. Any democratic government would like to know and access the direction of its policy of or program. It helps the government to get the information or input from the group before making any decision. Moreover, function of pressure group is to support or as supplement to the government agencies. Many pressure groups help the government agency in exercising their function. For example, Malaysian Medical Association (MMA) conduct research on serious diseases like cancer, AIDS, diabetes, and the research output help the government to adopt the right public policies. one of the objectives of Malaysian Medical Association (MMA) is to promote and maintain the honor and interest of the profession of medicine in all its branches and its every one of its segments, and help to sustain the professional standard of medical ethics. Next is, in a democratic society, pressure group an advantage. They encourage ordinary citizens to acknowledge. In politics, and even small group with little money have the ability in the right circumstance to influence government policy. Pluralism is what this optimistic view of pressure group is called. However, on balance, the proof appear to support the contrasting elitist stance on that. While everyone is free to organize on behalf of a favorite cause, there is a benefit for those individuals and groups. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nur Fatah binti Muhammad Sawawi, and my metric numbers is 2019, 2015, and 46. So, I will present about the difference between political parties and the pressure group. So, what is pressure group? Pressure group can be defined as a non-profit voluntary organization wherein the members have the certain objective in common, for which they attempt to persuade the government so as to attain that particular objective. The group represents the point of view of the people who are not happy with the present policy of the government. This is promotes, debates, discuss and mobilizes opinion of the public on various matters. Pressure group are not in alignment with any political parties, but they have the power to influence the government decisions. These are formed to express the shared value and belief of a large group, as well as to affect change within the government. Indeed, this gives an opportunity and a voice to that class of people who remain underprivileged. Consequently, the democratic process is strengthened. Pressure group take resort to additional measures to achieve their objective, which include march, petition, procession, demonstration, fast, and so on. So, what about the political party? Political party is described as an association of people having common political perspective, principle, and aims concerning the political system. The members of the parties work together to win the elections and hold power in the government by getting the candidates selected in the assembly. And to do so, they nominate candidates during election and campaign to get support from their candidates in elections. In acts as a political unit that use the voting power to gain control over the government, they lay down the policy and put their ideology into practice. For this purpose, various constitutional methods are employed by the parties to gain control. When the party wins elections and come into power, it translates the objectives so declared by it into the public policies.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Syafiqah Nuria binti Muhammad Salmi. Today I would like to present about types of pressure groups. These groups are kind of social gathering that have purpose for mutual support of their members. They may be grouped regarding to their aims, which are associational, non-associational, institutional, and anonymous. Firstly, associational pressure groups are groups that have distinctive name, national headquarters, professional employee, and use effective procedure for pursuing their interests. These pressure groups focus on the economic well-being of their members. Also, they embracing workers of the same occupation or profession. who try to protect their work or profession interests. They include business industrial, trade association, labor unions, professional association, and farmers groups. Next, non-associational pressure groups. These groups do not have a name or lack of formal structures. However, they are aware of their own distinctive from others. They have a feeling of their own identity, but they reflect largely unarticulated social, ethnic, cultural, or religious interests. The best example of this group are unemployed individuals, members of member of particular religious or ethnic groups, or normative group of all non-smoker. In addition, institutional pressure groups. They exist within the government. They are well-established, such as government bureaucracy, members of armed force, members of parliament. The purpose of these pressure groups is to implement and to execute government policy, to become the centers for public meeting, as well as to act upon certain matters in relation to nation development. Lastly, anomic pressure groups. Anomy means a sense of separation from social norms which are without any pre-planning or organization. When the people want to show their disappointment about a particular government policy. These are interest groups that use violence, demonstration, assassination, strikes, and the like in expressing their aims and objectives. Student riot, and street demonstrator groups are examples. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noras Malina binti Abdul Rashid. I will explain about the method used by pressure group to gain the influence. First of all, the methods that used by pressure group is lobbying. A very popular means used by pressure groups is lobbying. It involves the art of cultivating and influencing the policymaker, legislature, judge, and civil servants. In its wider form, lobbying means attempt of the pressure groups to influence government departments to favor of their interests. In its original forms, lobbying is referred to the effort of the individuals to influence the votes of legislature, generally in the lobby outside the legislative chamber. The next one is propaganda and mass media. The communications revolution of the 20th century has enabled pressure groups to use propaganda. They always try to secure such provisions in the election manifestos of political party as can serve their interests, and use means of mass media for securing public support for their demands and interests. Through advertisement or press note in the newspaper, the interest groups try to secure public attention towards their demands and support for the campaign through a campaign launch for securing such a demand. Through lobbying and contacts with the press, the groups try to secure favorable write-ups and editorials in leading newspaper and periodicals. These write letters for the editors for clarifying their view, as well as for answering the question raised by the press. And last one, the method used by the pressure group is strike. Strike has come to be frequently used methods for securing interest. Through strike, which involves a temporary stoppage of works, a pressure group tries to coerce those who are responsible for satisfying its interests. It is used by the pressure as a weapon of offense and to demonstrate the harm, loss, and inconvenience those result from the stoppage of works. That's all from me. Thank you. conclusion, pressure group or interest group are one important avenue in the society to make their ideas, demands, needs, and views known to elected representative or for proposed legislation to be put forward to the ruling or opposition parties. In that sense, interest groups, big or small, play a fundamental role. They help and inform the people more effectively using the resources they have at their disposal, like voting, free speech, freedom of assembly, social media, and recourse to judicial